most embarrassing cases occurred in a country house where I was a guest, along with singers Bobby Dylan and Karina Kapadia, my friend Professor Grammarian, the secret agent Prince Wolfgang, and the food critic Gordon Harpal Vantu Akorio Chan. Harumi Kaga was the chef.
An essay on statistics involved in linguistics. How do prepositions work and how can we be sure of them? I've heard on good authority in English the majority of people think that prepositions are too hard to learn. Research in language that's relevant for paragraphs. Theories about strategies for linking nouns and verbs. If you're writing up a sentence about photographs and monographs, then don't forget the meaning of these tiny little words. Under, on or over, in or out or under. Many prepositions are not easy to discern. Instructing us in writing, isn't it exciting? These words add all the richness to the language as we learn.
That's the bell for dinner.
Oh, good. I really enjoyed that. Chocolate pudding. Such a healthy dessert. Oh, what a pity you're on a diet. Bobby's vegetarian version looked good.
And she made a dairy-free option for me too. So kind.
What excellent soup.
Harumi was looking for a book on Australian cooking. A book of Australian recipes, in fact.
Vegetarians.
She had been to a lecture on local cuisine, and she was involved in an experimental cooking group.
草食系男子
The criteria for membership were that you had to enjoy cooking and you had to be a professional chef.
Diets.
She felt very positive about this and had consulted her employer about trying some new recipes.
What's that?
I say. What a horrible meal.
Adam is a wonderful chef. I thought it was excellent.
Harumi's been shot with a revolver in the library. She's dead.
Are you sure?
I saw her go into the library and then I heard a bang.
So did I.
And I?
There's no one else in this house. The murderer must be someone in this room.
Well, let's see what's happened.
None of us had a gun.
Yes, we did. There was one here in this very room. We all had access to it.
Oh yes, I remember. It belongs to Prince Wolfgang, and Karina was looking at it. And Prince Wolfgang has a certificate in shooting.
But what was the motive? I can't think of any motive for killing her. Harumi was an expert in the kitchen. Quite unlike the chef they had last year. I mean, she never imposed her ideas upon us. And she almost converted me to Japanese cooking. But she never lectured me about it.
I suppose she had the odd publication on cooking.
She was the author of many books about cooking. She must have had an enormous impact on Japanese cooking in Australia.
Well, let's not rely on rumors. The bulk of her work was not that good.
She had a wonderful attitude to cooking. That meal was terrific. As I said, I can't think of any motive for killing her.
Let's think back to the meal. Karina hardly ate anything.
Oh, what a pity you're on a diet.
You ate everything.
I really enjoyed that.
Prince Wolfgang confined himself to soup.
What excellent soup.
Bobby's vegetarian meal was more than adequate.
What about you, Miss Barrow?
I can't eat milk products, so Harumi had to substitute sorbet for ice cream for my dessert. She was very understanding about it, though.
So, who had a motive?
2 people hardly ate anything. 2 of us had meals adapted to our dietary needs, but I can only think of one person who didn't enjoy their meal.
I was with you after dinner, Miss Barrow.
Not immediately. Karina was with Prince Wolfgang. I was playing a board game with Professor Grammarian. You joined us a little later.
What a horrible meal.
There was an interval of about 10 minutes between the time we finished dinner and the time you joined us.
Not enjoying a meal is not a motive to kill someone. And Bobby came in late too.
Harumi's been shot with a revolver in the library.
That's true. However, there was also your professional jealousy as a chef. You and Harumi both publish widely in the area of cooking. You both did research on Asian cooking in Australia. Last year, you both contributed to a new cookery book, but she wrote 5 chapters on Japanese cuisine, and you only wrote a paragraph on the art of cutting potatoes. She had recently replaced you as president of the Academy of Celebrity Chefs, and you lost the essay chef cooking competition when she was a judge.
I'll have my revenge for this!
In short, she was a great challenge to your career. You never really recovered from the shock of her success.
And there's one more thing. You've got blood on your tie.
It's tomato sauce!
And you've got a revolver.
Don't shoot! He's not mine! I didn't kill Harumi!
You're alive!
Yes?
But we heard a sound like a gun.
Oh, the cat surprised me in the library and I dropped the book. Then I fell over and hit my head.
I say, it's my gun. But it's not a real one.
I'd like to apologise on behalf of everyone here, Gordon. Poor Gordon, what a terrible mistake. Of course, I'm not biased towards anyone, but you must admit that someone who doesn't enjoy learning about grammar is a bit suspicious. Let's look at some of the smaller words in that story. I'd like you to consider the prepositions. Prepositions are small words that show a relationship between one word and another word in English. Here are some examples. About, at, between, for, from, in, on, to, towards, and with are all prepositions. These are some of the hardest words for learners of English to use correctly. In our story, there were a lot of verbs and prepositions from the academic word list. These are the words most frequently used in English academic writing. The problem with prepositions is that they may not exist in your first language, or they may be used differently. Would you say the banana in the picture is in the bowl? It is in English, even though it's sitting outside the bowl on top of the other fruit. And what about prepositions in academic writing? How do you know if you should talk about an essay on something or for something? One way to think about prepositions is to imagine a picture. For example, you can imagine an essay sitting on a topic, or you can put an emphasis on something. Another way to check which preposition you need is to look in a good learner's dictionary. There are many learner's dictionaries online, and I have some links on the English for Uni website. I hope you've enjoyed learning about prepositions. Now I'm going to take Gordon to a wonderful restaurant to compensate for our terrible mistake.